Hey, Wellbrown World Entertainment, and things aren't looking so bright for Games Workshop and Warhammer. Now, not just the actual game of Warhammer, but there's a new rumour suggesting the show may now be in trouble. So, as you've probably seen over the weekend and a few of the days last week, Games Workshop introduced female custodes, which, of course, there never was female custodes. Now the rumour is coming out that the reason that Games Workshop has introduced that into the lore, into the Codex books, is on behalf of Amazon asking them to do it. And the idea for them to do it is so they can purposely put female custodes into the new Amazon show, which of course will be starring and being produced by Henry Cavill. Now, here is what the rumor actually says about this. Now, we're going to take this with a pinch of salt, a big pinch of salt, because it is from 4chan, but 4chan does every now and again get things right. You know, they got a lot of the Marvel movie stuff right in the past. But we'll keep an open mind here. So again, keep this in mind. But some of it does sound like it makes sense. So let's have a look. It says, now this new rumour, which comes via an anonymous poster on 4chan, claims female custodes are only going to be mentioned in the Codex. No new sculpts or characters after the fact. Social media department jumped the gun and tried to put out fires with the wrong hose. So what they're saying there is it's literally only going to be in the text in the book. They're not going to make the figures or anything like that. Now, it says the alleged leaker adds, intent is to push female custodes character in Amazon show without breaking lore. Because Amazon execs wanted a woman in power armor and wouldn't settle for Sisters of Battle, people involved in the show are pissed because they've been moving ahead on Eisenhorn. Talks of inserting said female custodes into Eisenhorn's story, with Cavill threatening to walk away from the project. Small stock drop today, but Games Workshop figures it can ride it out if it stays mum on the subject. They really need better social media employees. Cavill will be in an article due to heading to Games Workshop on the new series. I think that's meant to be the headline for it. This week or next, the leaker added. If he leaves, it'll be a noticeable hit to the share price, meaning the show is dead, good ending, or Amazon is calling the shots bad ending. You can trust me, my dad works at Nintendo. Don't get what that part is here and stuff. The alleged leaker states that nothing was inked when Cavill announced it, and it sent everyone at Games Workshop into a panic. Shareholders put a immediate stop to any work until the contract was hammered out, and the negotiations were brutal. If it could impact profits on the minus, Games Workshop didn't want to touch it, which is why this custody thing was a dumpster fire. People who should have known about it didn't, and sources are not. People are going to be let go. So that seems to be stating that employees at the Games Workshop didn't know about this and stuff either. The part that makes it sound like it could be legit is, of course, that Amazon wanted in the book. So when you see a female custody and people point and go, hang on, that's not right, that's not law, they can go, of course it is. Look, here's the book. There's the codex. There's the section where it says it. That's what they want. But they're saying, like, Games Workshop's not going to invest in making characters and sculptures for you to buy and use, which makes sense. It It's interesting to hear that the rumor is that people that are like working on the show are super pissed about this, and so much so that even Henry Cavill looks like the rug could have been pulled out from under him with this crap, because custodes apparently are one of his favourite factions, and we know that he loves lore. He loves sticking to lore. That's why he walked away from The Witcher. That now they're doing this with this show, possibly anyway, that the rumour is that he's threatening to walk away. Now we know he has a lot of control in this, but we're seeing Amazon once again kind of sticking their thumbs into the pie, if you like, and now kind of trying to make them add crap that shouldn't be there. Like, there's plenty of other female characters in this universe, and yet they're pushing that. But other interesting things start happening as well after this, because as we read there, shares started to drop. Well, Games Workshop CFO sells 2/3 of her shares amid growing Warhammer boycott. Yeah, so one of their chief financial officers has sold off 2/3 of her stake in the company, with approximately $865,000, as hobbyists have begun cancelling their Warhammer Plus subscriptions and have indicated they will boycott the company. So the company has taken like a 5% drop in the shares apparently, which it rebounded from a small bit anyway apparently, either today or the other day. But it's not looking good if you're getting rumours that people working on the show aren't happy about this. Henry Cavill's obviously not happy and is talking about walking away from it. And this is one of his dream projects to do, that he's talking about walking away from it. That fans of the game itself and the shop, the Games Workshop stores themselves, like, are boycotting that the stock did take a hit, and now that the CFO is selling her shares, it's not looking very good for them to make a dumb decision like, hey, let's do something, let's basically make female Nazis, because that's basically who the custodes were. They were essentially the Nazis from what I understand, and there's no women in that group or anything, but they've taken upon themselves to go, hey, let's make women. And one of the heads of the Games Workshop tried to say, I don't know what you people are talking about, there was always female custodes, even though the fans who are like super anal about this stuff went, no, there wasn't. Like, they're talking about people who spend hours upon hours just painting one figure, never mind an army figure, one figure, looking at every little detail on that armor, choosing their colors, choosing what faction they're with, everything like this. They go over the lore, they know it inside out, they probably know it better than the people who actually came up with it. And someone's trying to go, oh, there was always one of them female custodians, what are you talking about? When they can absolutely go, no, there wasn't, there never has been. So it's going to be interesting. I think, though, Henry Cavill will probably have that much say that it'd be the case of he's just not going to put them in there. That he'll say, no, you can have them in all the other factions that have women in it. You're not putting them in this faction. End off. Especially if they're going to be there for one scene. Because we know if it happens and Amazon force it in there, they are going to have to be the main protagonist basically of the show. We know that will end up happening. It's so strange when we see these companies like Amazon, Netflix, how they put out good things like Formalist and Reacher and stuff, but then they're doing dumb shit like possibly this. Oh, let's put female custodes in it, even though there's no such thing as a female custode, just because that's what we want. As well as the likes of Wheel of Time and Rings of Power and stuff. The same with Netflix. Like, how did they put out a movie like Damsel, but at the same time put out something like One Piece? It makes no sense. But It would be such a kick to the teeth of Henry Cavill if this happens to him again with a beloved project and franchise that he wants to honor, respect, stick to the lore, and just make it what it's meant to be. Now, let's see what happens. Let's see what kind of more information comes out. As I said, it's a big rumor with that part of it anyway. So take that with a grain of salt. But everything else, the shares going down, the CFO selling 2/3 of her shares, that's all real. So only time's gonna tell what's gonna happen with this one. So with that, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.